In a torrential downpour, a lone black man stumbled upon two shivering white girls, no older than 5, huddled beneath a tattered plastic sheet by the roadside. Without a second thought, he shed his only jacket and draped it over them. When the Child Intake Center reported being at capacity, he silently signed emergency foster papers, despite barely scraping by in his weathered wooden cabin. 15 years later, those girls, now grown, took the stage to honor him. Before delving into this tale, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear your thoughts. An old truck rattled as Damon Carter navigated the outskirts of Charleston. The autumn rain fell in a biting, icy curtain, and the headlights struggled through the gloom. It was past midnight, and exhaustion from a grueling shift weighed heavily on his 35-year-old frame. With a weathered face and streaks of early gray, Damon yearned for the quiet of his creaky wooden home, a steady, unchanging life of fixing broken machines within 4 silent walls. He turned onto a desolate road, choked with overgrown brush. Then, a faint cry cut through the storm, prompting him to slam on the brakes. His heart lurched. He recognized that sound, a raw, desperate loneliness. He cut the engine, and the rain's drumming grew louder, the cry sharper, slicing the night. Stepping out, his worn canvas coat soaked through, he trudged into the mud, parting wet branches. The sight stopped him cold. 2 tiny girls, blonde hair caked with mud, faces pale and trembling. A shredded plastic sheet barely shielded their frail forms, their soaked clothes and frayed sneakers revealing blue-tinged toes. Their wide, panicked eyes locked onto Damon, reflecting the terror of abandoned children lost in a tempest. Fumbling with his phone, Damon dialed 911, his rough fingers trembling. A weary voice answered from the police department. "I found 2 kids abandoned on Old Mill Road. It's pouring, and they're freezing," he said, striving to stay calm. The voice responded flatly, "We've got a highway accident. Short-staffed. Might be 45 minutes." Damon gripped the phone tightly. 45 minutes was too long to leave them exposed. Anxiety mingled with helplessness as he considered his tall, lean frame and dark skin in this predominantly white town. Any action, even a good one, could be misconstrued. He hesitated, but their fear held him fast. He called Pastor James, the one man he trusted. After a tense ring, the pastor's steady voice answered, "Hello, Damon." "What's wrong, son?" Damon explained quickly. After a pause, Pastor James said, "Follow your heart, Damon. God will guide you." 40 minutes later, police lights pierced the darkness. Damon stood drenched, shielding the girls. The officer eyed him, then the children. "Emergency," he muttered. "The child reception center's full." Reluctantly, he added, "You can take them home temporarily. A CPS worker will check tomorrow." The next morning, a blue car rolled up to Damon's weathered cabin. Monica Bell, a CPS worker, stepped out, her gaze sweeping the peeling walls and sagging roof. Inside, the house was tidy. "Do you live alone, Mr. Carter?" she asked. Damon nodded. She jotted notes. "What do you do? What's your life like?" He shared his story. An orphan childhood, years surviving by repairing machines, often for free for the needy. Monica's voice softened. "We've looked into Ellie and June's parents. They died in a car accident likely opioid-related. In a moment of confusion, they may have tried to leave the girls at a bus stop before the crash. The chaos left them stranded. She explained that the girls, too young to grasp death, knew their parents were gone. No relatives have been found. The foster system's overwhelmed due to the opioid crisis in West Virginia. Monica proposed a 7-day emergency care agreement. Damon felt the weight of scrutiny from neighbors peering through curtains. Whispers of the black man with white kids hung unspoken. Monica verified his reliability with his auto shop. After a pause, he signed, "I'll do it." He couldn't abandon them. Recalling his own loneliness, left at a bus stop at 10. That night, Ellie and June sat silently on the sofa, clutching each other, their fearful eyes lingering. A bond began to form. The next morning, weak sunlight filtered into the kitchen, carrying the scent of simple brown rice porridge. June, her blonde hair tousled, approached with a spoon, placing it by Damon's bowl, her blue eyes shy but trusting. Warmth eased his tension. That night, June whimpered in a nightmare, and Damon called his boss. "I need time off for the kids," he said. Bill grunted, "Resolve it quick, Damon." "Work's waiting." Losing income strained his already tight budget, but he couldn't turn away. Days later, Monica returned. The system's still overwhelmed. "We propose 30 days of temporary care, a rare exception. You've done well." Damon hesitated, feeling the neighbors' judgmental stares, until June placed another spoon in his bowl. Ellie whispered, "Do you have a mommy?" The question pierced him, echoing his own past. "I don't. I'm like you," he said gently. Doubt faded. He nodded to Monica, committing to the girls that T.O. helped them adjust. Damon brought them to a church community meal. Eyes followed them. Whispers of a black man with white girls arose, but Mrs. Grace, a kind elderly woman, welcomed them as lovely granddaughters, offering used clothes. Pastor James's warm words about love transcending color softened the room. That night, Ellie's nightmare returned. Damon, awkward with his rough hands, held his grandfather's old teddy bear, sharing stories of his own abandonment. Ellie calmed, whispering, "You don't have a mommy either." A deep connection grew at the grocery store. A police car pulled up. An officer, suspicious, asked about Damon with the girls. He produced CPS papers, and June clung to him, trembling. Monica intervened, ensuring the incident passed. Back home, bills piled up, and work uncertainty loomed. Calvin, his mechanic friend, advised, "Give them back to CPS. You don't need this trouble." But a crayon drawing from Ellie and June of Uncle D with them dissolved his doubts. Monica later called. His guardianship application was under review, a rare exception, though the process would take a year. That on their 6th birthday, the church hosted a small celebration. Mrs. Grace snapped a photo, and the story spread on Facebook, shifting some opinions. Miss Sarah, a teacher, invited Damon to speak at a community event. His simple words, "I was once unwanted. I couldn't let them be," won over the crowd. Ellie struggled socially, but support grew. Mrs. Mabel brought soup, and Mrs. Grace countered prejudice. An earache sent Ellie to the hospital, where staff questioned Damon's guardianship. Monica's confirmation eased the tension, and the doctor's dad marked a turning point. 15 years later, At the Community Protector Awards, June, now a nurse, and Ellie, a social worker, honored Damon. They announced the Uncle D Scholarship for orphan children. Decades later, Ellie, June, and their kids visited Damon on his porch. As grandpa, he opened an old box, revealing their drawing, and said, "I gained a family. That's all I needed." Under a fiery sunset, their laughter wove a symphony of love, proving kindness builds unbreakable bonds.